cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shorty, I know what you after. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. At 12, gon' find your ass way in New Orleans. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my put and put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poopy, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up. Cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
Trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
That you have to Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for Manchester City versus Brentford. The team news there in extraordinarily massive format for whatever reason. Don't know why it did that. Welcome to the final stream of the Premier League season. The final game of the Premier League season for Manchester City here today. Tristan is with us. Flavius, We Are City fan club member, is with us as well. He said, did someone say City stays undefeated? Because sure, no, I did. 86% of you guys so far voted that Manchester City will continue the undefeated streak in today's fixture. You guys can vote. Let us know in the comments down below or the live chat, but also you can vote there at the side. Manchester City versus Brentford. This is going to be an interesting game. We'll run through City side and what we think it might be like in possession when we look at the side compared to Brentford. But these are the players in the starting 11 for Manchester City today. Ederson comes back in goal. Kyle Walker, Aymeric Laporte, Nathan Ake and Sergio Gomez make up the back four. The midfield three, it looks like it's going to be Calvin Phillips, Rico Lewis and Phil Foden. Phil Foden playing centrally for the last few games since his return now. Maybe that is a sort of tip-off to next season where Pep Guardiola intends to play Foden more centrally rather than out wide. And Manchester City sign a midfielder, yes, but also look to bring in a wide player. Cole Palmer starts on the left today, who was impressive in that game against Chelsea at home, and actually when he came on against Brighton the other day did pretty well as well. Riyad Mahrez on the right and Julian Alvarez through the middle. No Erling Haaland, he's on the bench day for City. Alvarez getting some more time to impress is always massive. This Flavius, he's such a good player, isn't he, Alvarez? I can't believe how good he was. I mean, £14 million Manchester City managed to sign the little Argentinian for. World Cup winner, Premier League winner. Could he be also an FA Cup winner and a Champions League winner all in the same season? That has got to be some sort of record. I mean, at 22 years of age, to win that many awards in one season is just absolutely unbelievable. What a player he is. Brentford are apparently, I didn't realise before the game, I thought it's a bit of a dead rubber really. Manchester City already champions. And, of course, for Brentford, they'd be playing for nothing. But that isn't the case because Brentford are playing for 7th position. If Aston Villa were to lose and a few others, Brentford could get, I believe, 7th position and get Conference League football. So they are playing for European football, Brentford. Flavius says Alvarez is going to complete football at just 23 years of age. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. A World Cup, a Champions League, a Premier League and an FA Cup all in the same season. Surely that doesn't happen. But it's very likely to happen, isn't it? Let's look at that Brentford side then, because they've gone strong, of course, missing their key man and 20-goal-a-season striker, Ivan Toney, who's been suspended due to gambling offences. So David Raya, which could be his last game for Brentford, starts in goal today for the Bees. It is a back five they've gone with. The three in defence is Zanka, captain and ex-Manchester City player Ben Mee. Burnley as well, he played for, and Ethan Pinnock. In the wing-back roles is the very impressive Rico Henry, who's yet to be called up to the England squad, surprisingly. Been very good at left-back for Brentford this season. And on the right-hand side, a player heavily linked with Manchester City as an option for next summer, Aaron Hickey, one to keep an eye on. Midfield two of Onyeka and Janelt, and then it's a front three for Brentford, or it could be even a midfield three. Damsgaard, who is playing, I've said, on the left-hand side, could easily be playing through the middle with Visser and then Burmo playing as two strikers up top. But for this one, I put on Burmo on the right, Damsgaard on the left, and Visser through the middle. The Manchester City side, that is sort of how it might look in possession. I'm not exactly sure. It could be actually Gomez in the middle and Palmer out wide. We've gone with Walker, Laporte and Ake, the back three. Calvin Phillips sitting alongside Rico Lewis in that midfield two. And then Palmer and Foden, the midfielders supporting Sergio Gomez, playing the wide left-hand side. And Riyad Mahrez playing the wide right position. But we have no idea. It might not be that way. We don't know, do we? Pep Guardiola has said actually in a lot of talks before the game, he's thinking up something crazy for the Champions League final and for Manchester United in the FA Cup final, something he's been thinking of. Maybe that's something he's trying out today in this formation. Because we've got, what, 1, 2, 3 left footers all who like to play that left-hand side. Flavius says, I do have a soft spot for Brentford. For whatever reason, it's going to be a nice game. Yeah, I quite like Brentford, actually. Sometimes the football they play isn't the most entertaining. But I think in terms of long throws, in terms of the way they play the ball, is they any better than Brentford? I don't think so. I don't think it's a team better than Brentford in what they do. Long balls, long throw-ins, playing a way that just isn't nice to play against. Really isn't nice to play against. But that is the way they play, and it works for them. So you can't really complain, can you? I don't think, because of that. And we'll have to see how they perform today, Brentford. I think there'll be a tough task for Manchester City. I really do. But we don't know how they're going to play. Are they going to really put everything into it to get the 7th place finish to get Conference League, or are they not too bothered thinking, well, Aston Villa are going to pick up the points anyway and get that today? We don't know. Let us know your predictions, by the way, in the comments down below. Andrew's already come in there. Brentford will try and get their win the 7th, but he's gone for a 2-2 draw. I think a draw suits Manchester City today, doesn't it? I think just not to lose would be the best thing, really, after City have already won the Premier League, and it is a nothing game for Manchester City. I would like us just to sort of just get that undefeated roll keep going. That is, I think, what we need. If we can do that, then I think we'll be in a great position going into that FA Cup game. I mean, the worrying thing is Jack Grealish, for example, Ruben Diaz, Akanji, a lot of players haven't sort of played any football for a while now. Is that going to hamper them, or do they really need a big rest, and does Pep Guardiola trust them to come back and put in the performances of Manchester City in those 2 finals that are coming up next week? And those 2 finals will be, of course, live here on the channel. FA Cup final against Manchester United and Champions League final the week after against Inter Milan. Both those games will be here for you guys to enjoy on the channel. We'll be doing alternative commentary for the FA Cup final, and maybe we even stick a webcam on for the Champions League final. If you remember 2 years ago, I think it was, we did stick a webcam on. Me and 2 friends watch the Champions League final, watch Manchester City lose to Chelsea. Hopefully we see a different outcome in the upcoming Champions League final. But it's not to think about the Champions League final yet. We've still got 1 Premier League game left, and hopefully we'll just get through this game with no injuries, no issues, and City can be fit to play nice and sharp for that Champions League final and the FA Cup final next week. A draw is very likely, believes Flavius, especially with this team. Yeah, I think Brentford are going to give us a big test today. I think Laporte and Ake getting back into the side is good to see. That is something I've wanted to see. Nathan Ake back. I'm glad he's back from the injury, and he needs to get that match sharpness up, which Pep Guardiola is giving him a chance to do. I mean, do we see Ake not start the FA Cup but start the Champions League? We don't know, do we? Because he hasn't got that match sharpness. Does Pep Guardiola just throw him straight in there in the Champions League final and the FA Cup final? We don't know how things are going to happen. It'd be really, really good, wouldn't it, to know what Pep Guardiola decides to do and be inside the head of Pep Guardiola, but it's not so easy, is it? We don't know what his decisions are. We don't know what he's going to do. So we're just going to accept it and see what happens. So it's a nice sunny day in Brentford, it looks like. They currently sit in 9th position in the Premier League table. 1 point off 8th place Spurs and 2 points off 7th place Aston Villa. Better goal difference than Aston Villa. So, if Villa were to draw today against the Brighton Hove Albion, and Manchester City were to get, were to be defeated by Brentford, Brentford would get 7th place. Obviously, Spurs would have to drop points as well against Leeds, who are battling relegation. We will be keeping you up to date with all the scores around the Premier League as well. I've got the flash scores up as well, so I can check them as much as possible, because we need to know, are Brentford getting 7th place? Are, Everton going down? Are Leeds going down? All that, because there's a lot going on in terms of the bottom of the Premier League table. That is where the real excitement is happening, I suppose, isn't it? So we'll try and keep an eye on that as much as possible as well for you guys, so you guys know what's going on. And the players are about to come out. They're in the tunnel right now. City wearing the new kit, or the kit for next season today. The kit for next season, which is the blue and white. I mean, obviously it's blue home kit. Ederson in a very nice looking green kit, although the 2 alternate goalkeeper kits have pink on. And we know there's a bit of a conspiracy theory about Ederson wearing pink. He usually is terrible, so hopefully that isn't the case from Ederson. But you don't know. You don't know what's happening with Ederson, do you? Flavio says, what we thinking? Are we raiding Brighton in the summer for Enciso? I'd love City to raid Brighton for Enciso in the summer. I don't think we will. I think Brighton are in a position, especially getting Europa League, where players like Enciso, maybe McAllister, maybe Caicedo will want to stay there just a little bit longer at those clubs. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens there. I think Enciso will stay at Brighton. I think they'll lose Alexis McAllister. I do believe he'll be going on the way to Liverpool this summer. I think Caicedo might leave Brighton as well, but I think they'll be the only 2 big departures. Mitoma will stay, Enciso will stay, Estupinian will stay. Some bit of news that I haven't yet posted on our community tab. I'm always putting out the new news, but because I was getting ready to the live, I didn't say anything. But Rafael Guerreiro, player linked to Manchester City, who City looked to approach to buy last summer. Borussia Dortmund said to City they wanted, 40 million for the player out of contract at the end of the summer, and City decided against that. He is, of course, out of contract. He will be leaving Borussia Dortmund on a free. Could we see Manchester City making a move for him? We just might. Mark Hubert is here. He says, hello guys, predicting a 1-0 win for Manchester City. It was a tight one. City last time they faced Brentford. Last time out it was a 1-0 win. A brilliant goal by Phil Foden. Scraped their way through, didn't they? Just scraped their way through in that one. So City fans chant and cheer. A guard of honour by the Brentford players who applaud Manchester City, the Premier League champions, for the 3rd season in the row. Mark Hubert is expecting a goal from Julian Alvarez to give Manchester City the 1-0 win today. The Brentford players out with their children as well. This is their last game for Brentford. Some of them perhaps. David Raya, heavily linked with a move away from Brentford. He will leave Brentford this summer apparently in a move for around 40 million. Chelsea, Spurs and Manchester United, the 3 sides expected to make a move for the Spaniard. We'll just run through the sides again for you guys, starting with the home side, Brentford, and Thomas Frank's lineup. He goes with in goal, David Raya. It is a back 5 for Brentford, and that 5 has in it Aaron Hickey, Zanka, Ethan Pinnock, Ben Mee and Rico Henry. Real attacking fullbacks there, or wing-backs in this team. Damsgaard, Onyeka and Vitaly Janelt, the midfield 3. And then up top, Isambermo and Johan Visser. They've got the likes of Christoph Ayer, Goddess de Silva, Schade, Strakosha, goalkeeper, Shannon Baptiste, Ruselev, Finn Stevens on the bench. And then this is the Manchester City side. Pep Guardiola's last game this season for Manchester City. In goal starts goalkeeper and number 31, Ederson. Laporte, captain Kyle Walker and Nathan Ake's return to the side in Manchester City's back 3. The midfield 4 is Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Phil Foden and Sergio Gomez. And then in the forward 3 for Manchester City, Cole Palmer, Julian Alvarez and Riyad Mahrez. On the bench, Stones, Gundogan, Haaland, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Shea Charles, Alex Robertson and Ben Knight. Flavius thinks it's going to be a really competitive season next year. Mark Hubert agrees. I think Liverpool, you're quite right, Liverpool will be back, I'm sure, fighting for that Premier League title with us. I think Chelsea, perhaps, under a decent manager, they've got a very good group of players. I know they've been terrible this season, but I think with a decent manager, they might get somewhere. But we don't know. Maybe just top 4 is a good one for Chelsea. I think Manchester United surely are up there next season, aren't they? That is a logical development for United. And Arsenal as well. Surely they've learnt from this season. And they might try to go all the way next year. And Manchester City, I'm sure, pushed them all the way. Chelsea. But we expected this season to be very competitive. I expected Chelsea to be very good this season. And they just weren't, whether they were terrible. And that came as a big surprise to myself. It really did. So Brentford in a sort of 5-3-2 shape. Manchester City maybe more in a 3-4-3 shape. Balloons on the field here at the GTEC Community Stadium. Brentford, a London side. Not one of the most popular London sides in terms of the worldwide renowned teams like Chelsea, like Arsenal, Spurs. But Brentford are going to give City a very tough test today. And what a season they have, all the way up in 9th position and have the opportunity to finish in 7th. I think that shows how good of a season Brentford have had. David Raya captains Brentford for sure the last time. Handshake with Kyle Walker, Manchester City's captain, and also with the 2 officials today. If you want to watch this game, it is not actually on in the UK. You can only watch this game if you are away from home in another country, of course. So, from the UK, that is. If you are in the UK, then you'll be able to see this game. You won't be able to see this game. Where am I going with this one? I'm confusing you now, aren't I? Southampton play Liverpool today. Fulham, Manchester United. Some of the other fixtures, Leicester, West Ham, Bournemouth, Everton, Leeds, Tottenham. Plenty of games they're about to kick off. Calvin Phillips looking great with the dreads there, or the braids, in the new Manchester City kit. I can't even say anything there. Kit and kick off, way ahead of myself. Rico Lewis is looking to take the kick off for Manchester City. The blue shirt and the white shorts. I'm glad to see that. I went and watched City's women for their last game of the season yesterday against Everton. They wore navy blue shorts, and I was very, very impressed that City aren't wearing them, because I didn't like the blue shorts. The navy blue shorts and the white shirt and the blue shirt didn't look good. The white shorts and the blue shirt looks fantastic. Kick-off is underway. City against Brentford. Here we go. Last game of Manchester City's Premier League season. Ederson on the ball here. And he plays it wide to Sergio Gomez. It looks like just a flat back 4 for City, with a pull-up pane on the right-hand side. Interesting. Ake across to Kyle Walker. Walker into Mahrez and back to Kyle Walker. 21 seconds of football played here. And no goals so far in the Premier League in any of the other games yet. But they're only 2 and 3 minutes in. 1 minute in. Ederson. Short to Gomez. To Laporte. It's a big mistake by Gomez there, but Aymeric Laporte made a big save. It wasn't actually Gomez with a bad pass. It was Calvin Phillips. I've been thinking recently maybe we should give KP4 man another shot if we don't lose Gundo and Silva. Yeah, I think he will stay next season. Phillips has said in a recent interview he wants to stay at City for 5 years and show his quality. He's got the right mentality. I'm sure he can come through it, but he made a bad pass there. He got away with it, really. I think he needs to be more mobile. He looks very off it, Calvin Phillips, if I'm honest. He looks slow and not with it, and that's a bit of a problem for him at the moment. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he does develop. I mean, Rodri was a bit slow in his first season, and people said he wasn't ready. And there's plenty of others, isn't there? So we have to give Calvin Phillips a chance. I am one who's been harsh on him, but we have to give him a chance. Here's Janelt for Brentford. Wide to Zanka. Aaron Hickey. Back to Zanka. And on to Ethan Pinnock, who's playing the centre of that back four. Well, he's been a goal in the game at Leeds. And Leeds, who are staring relegation firmly in the eye now, as Tottenham Hotspur take the lead. A 1-0 lead for Tottenham against Leeds. And it is a goal from I don't know who yet. But Leeds are behind already. That's very bad for them, isn't it? In their survival to stay in the Premier League. Very, very bad for them. Very bad for them, isn't it? Can't believe that. Ederson. Wide right to Aymeric Laporte. Left-footed pass into Kyle Walker, who takes touch on the right foot. Gives it straight away. Then he fouls the Brentford player. Advantage played. And Rico Henry picks it up here. Henry pulls it back to Visser. Visser with a chance here into the middle. Nathan Ake. Good interception in the box. The great chance of Brentford. And Manchester City come the other way now. I'm getting myself a Haaland 23-24 kit soon. And a 22 away kit because it stuffs fire, says Flavius. Well, yeah, I mean, the home kit looks very nice, doesn't it? Haaland the back. Who better to have on there, really? And an away kit as well, the black and red one. All beautiful kits. Puma have been bringing out some brilliant kits to Manchester City, haven't they, over recent times. Calvin Phillips to Manchester City. Let's see who scored that goal for Tottenham. It was Harry Kane, of course. Kane scores for Tottenham, who take the 1-0 lead against Leeds. Nathan Ake. Phil Foden. Gomez wide left. Foden back to Nathan Ake. He's got Kyle Walker wide right as well. Ake. Oh, into Palmer. He's got great space here. Palmer beats a few challenges. Cole Palmer! Oh, what a save by David Raya. Really good opportunity for City there. Cole Palmer skipped past the challenge onto the left foot. Just couldn't get it in the back of there. Alvarez sits down Ben Mee. Alvarez still. Edge of the box to Riyad Mahrez. Turns. Mahrez looking for a shot on the left foot. To Kyle Walker across the box here. Could fall to Rico Lewis in the box. Alvarez with a strike here. Does it take a deflection? I'm not quite sure. Goal kick, I believe, Brentford's way, is it? Oh, the referees give a corner here. Well, what a pass into Palmer, who found a little pocket space. Got a bit fortunate getting round Pinnock. And his shot is well saved by the strong left hand of David Raya. That's a really good chance for Cole Palmer to open Manchester City's account for today. It is a corner. It's going to be an in-swinger on the left foot of Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez swings it in. Headed away at the near post by Ethan Pinnock. Throwing for Manchester City on the far right-hand side. That was a great chance there for Cole Palmer. Really, really good chance. It's a very good save as well from David Raya. Excuse me. Rico Lewis. I think 2-2 for this game, Sultra Game. I think someone else has predicted 2-2 as well. Expecting goals. City with a bit of a weaker line-up, and maybe that's why. Here's Alvarez in space. Julian Alvarez. Flicks it into the path of Phil Foden. Burmel tries to get there, but Foden wins it. Turns, wins it back from Ake, and then Foden gives it away. Calvin Phillips gets it back from Manchester City. Under pressure, a sliding challenge from Onyeka on Calvin Phillips, who's not happy. And the referee gives a free kick here. And there's going to be a talking to by Peter Banks, the referee for Onyeka. Phillips already off balance after a challenge. The referee played advantage, and Onyeka comes sliding in on Calvin Phillips, who wasn't quite happy with that challenge. 5 minutes gone at Brentford here. Manchester City 0, Brentford 0. Pep Guardiola's sleeves rolled up in the black jumper today. The sun beating down on him at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Riyad Mahrez over this free kick for Manchester City. Option to the left in Phil Foden. He's going to swing this one straight in. It's headed away by Brentford. Aaron Hickey on with a header, but only as far as Onyeka. Rico Lewis in there to head it down to Cole Palmer. Couldn't win it. Ake picks it up. And back to Sergio Gomez. Doesn't Nathan Ake being back just make you feel so much safer as a City fan? Foden with a cross into the box here. Blocked by Aaron Hickey. Well defended by the young fullback. Corner for City. Phil Foden goes across to it. Another left footer. How many left footers in the City starting 11 today? Mahrez, Palmer, Foden is 3. Laporte, Ake and Gomez is 6. Ederson is 7. 7 left footers in City starting 11 today. Here is Riyad Mahrez. Cross comes in. Taken down in the box is Aymeric Laporte. Laporte with the arms out here. Wants a free kick. Wants a penalty. Brentford clear it away. Laporte wants VR to check this one. Nathan Ake with a header on. Foden good touch and out to Rico Lewis. And City go back, but Aymeric Laporte wants Peter Banks to check this on VR. There's been a goal at Villa Park and Aston Villa take the lead against Brighton. Well, they can't get 6th place, but it does mean that Brentford won't be getting 7th place with that goal. Aston Villa take the lead against Brighton. Phil Foden. Gomez. Good play by him. Gomez looks to pass it behind to Phil Foden. But a bad touch by the Spaniard. Nathan Ake steps out to win it back for Manchester City. Pinnock. Hickey. Back they go to David Raya, who tries to switch the play. Great pass by the Brentford goalkeeper, who is absolutely brilliant with his feet. Absolutely brilliant with his feet. Rico Henry receives the switch and goes back to Ben B. And Aston Villa have taken the lead against Brighton, meaning whatever Brentford do today. And of course Spurs have taken the lead as well against Leeds. Neither side will be getting... I think Villa will be getting 7th place ahead of Spurs. Here's Cole Palmer, finds himself on the right-hand side. Palmer. Mahrez tries to knock it onto Alvarez. Calvin Phillips. Phillips a left-footed shot here. And he drags it wide as the number 4. Could have perhaps gone far left onto Sergio Gomez, but went for goal. Calvin Phillips missed it. Ake's been a joy to watch this, Flavius. What a player he is. And there's been a goal at Stamford Bridge as well. Early goals in the Premier League at the moment. All within the first 10 minutes. Newcastle United take the lead against Chelsea. Newcastle lead Chelsea at the Bridge. Chelsea season just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? I think they've had 1 win in the last 20 games or something crazy like that. So plenty of goals early on. Can Manchester City get an early goal of their own here? Nearly 8 minutes gone at the Etihad. At the Etihad, at the G-Tech Community Stadium. David Raya to send this one long, which he does from the goal kick. Phillips leaves it. And City watch it all the way through to goalkeeper Ederson. Ederson taking his time here. Under pressure from Visser, then picks the ball up. Calmly done by the Brazilian, who's in a Brazilian-style kit. The green and yellow. Apparently Ederson had some role in the actual creation and the colour of the Manchester City kit. Ederson passed into the midfield to Alvarez. A great pass by the goalkeeper. Peter Banks, the referee, nearly got involved himself there. Laporte switch a play to Gomez, slicing it off the left foot. And Sergio Gomez with a very poor control. There's been another goal as well at the St Mary's Stadium. Southampton versus Liverpool. And it is Liverpool who take the lead against Southampton. Liverpool who can't get Champions League football and will be playing Thursday nights next season in the UEFA Europa League. Another goal there. Zanka to take this throw in for Brentford. Looks to take it long. There's been a goal as well at the Emirates. And it is second place Arsenal who take the lead against Julian Lopetegui's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Plenty of goals going in. I think Liverpool win 3-0 to Ultra Gamer. Well, lots of goals going in here on the final day of the season. Exciting stuff. Yet to see a goal here at Brentford. Ethan Pinnock. Good play. Onyeka balling behind to Visser. He's onside and Burner at the far post. Visser shoots off the post. And Gomez away. How did Brentford not score there? Well, the referee says offside anyway. Denied by the woodwork was Visser. Hits the inside of the post, but there looks to be an injury here in the Manchester City back line. Visser thinks he's broken the offside trap, but he hasn't. Hits the inside of the far post. But I think it's Aymeric Laporte and Ederson who clash. And Aymeric Laporte's picked him an injury here. Good chance of Visser. Just couldn't get enough bend on it. Gomez cleared it away as it rebounded out. But Aymeric Laporte is on the floor. We'll have to see how he's going to be here, Aymeric Laporte. That's a great chance for Brentford. I think Laporte's back to his feet and okay. But that was a worry for the Manchester City bench there. Here's Nathan Ake for City. Under pressure from Mbermo. Off the boot of Mbermo, who can't keep it in. Throw into City. City doing pretty well. Brentford are doing pretty well as well. Causing problems for City at the back. Followed by Gomez. Straight to Onyeka. Flicked over the top here. Nathan Ake heads it away. Foden can't beat Vista to it in the box. Here is Hickey. Left-footed cross into the far post here and picked up by Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson. He looks to slow the game down. Let Manchester City play the game at their pace. Saints are really rubbish as Ultra Gaming. Yeah, that is very true. No wonder they're going down. Some good players, but too young, too inexperienced. I don't know if he necessarily had a role in it. The design team perhaps just wanted to appreciate Ederson's flavius. Apparently, there was a report that said that Ederson actually did have a role in it. Obviously not the design, but the colour. He wanted green and yellow, like Brazil's colour of the kit, apparently. Throwing for Brentford here to be taken by Zanka. It's a poor pass by Gomez who put it out of play. Nathan Ake heads it forward. Brentford back forward again. Gomez up against Aaron Hickey. Gomez loses out and Johan Visser is a few yards offside there. Manchester City fans chanting about the boys in blue. Coming after you. Plenty of City fans today here to support their side despite already being Premier League champions. Despite already having one of a possible 3 trophies left in the bag. Ake goes back to Ederson. Could go short to Rico Lewis, which he does. Lewis under pressure. Back to Ederson. Ederson out to Laporte. And Brentford player's gone down here. Laporte plays it long to Sergio Gomez, who wins it. There's a Brentford player down, and the referee stops the game here. Which not a head injury, interestingly enough. But it is Ben Mee, centre-back, who come forward here to try and press Rico Lewis. He kicked Rico Lewis. I think he's just twisted his ankle here, Ben Mee. Another goal at the Emirates. Arsenal have a 2-0 lead over Wolves. A double for Arsenal. And Wolves will finish off a mediocre season in the same way. Another goal as well at St Mary's Stadium. It's Liverpool who take a 2-0 lead against Southampton. So the goals flying in. Only Fulham United, Leicester West Ham, Everton Bournemouth, Crystal Palace Nottingham Forest, and Brentford Manchester City with no goals in those fixtures so far. Ben Mee stays down here. I don't know if he caught his face there with Rico Lewis. He tried to press Rico Lewis as Lewis received the ball, right at the edge of his box by Ederson. Tight up to him. Little kick in the knee of Rico Lewis, and I don't know if he's banged his face or something. He seems to be struggling. Pep Guardiola is giving instructions to Julian Alvarez and Ederson. Trying to make sure that those two combine maybe a little bit better from back to front. The medical staff are having a word with Pep Guardiola. Ben Mee looks to have maybe picked up a mouth injury here. The elbow of Rico Lewis just swings round as he passes the ball back. Nothing he can do about it. But the elbow catches Ben Mee right in the teeth. And the player seems to be pretty concerned that maybe his tooth's going to fall out here. Ultra says Saints will be a League One side in the next 10 years. They've got some really good players as well, haven't they? I think they'll probably get a lot of those players taken off them, Ultra Gamer. Bella Kotchap at the back. Salisu. Kyle Walker-Peters. Romeo Lavia, hopefully, in a Manchester City shirt, if anything. Here is Calvin Phillips. Out to Gomez. Back to Phillips. Under pressure. And he goes back to centre-back Nathan Ake, who's the calm head at the back for Manchester City. Ederson. Rico Lewis on the turn here. Rico. Across to Calvin Phillips to the left of him. Phillips goes back to Aymeric Laporte. He could switch the play here with his left foot, but he goes wide right to Kyle Walker. Plays a long ball along the turf into Alvarez. Palmer heads it back out to Alvarez. He flicks over top to Rico Lewis. And calmly done down to Calvin Phillips. City pushing forward here. Phillips. Ake. Phillips again. Phillips with the ball in behind to Kyle Walker. It's a fantastic switch by Phillips. Walker back down to Palmer. Nice play by Calvin Phillips. Fantastic pass. Rico Lewis. Cole Palmer. Palmer looks to shoot from range. Deflected. Julian Alvarez it falls to on the rebound. Just couldn't get the shot off. His blocked by Brentford and Kyle Walker goes back. But nice play from City. Very forward thinking stuff from Cole Palmer. Going for goal from range. Really caught the shot well. Unlucky not to finish it off. Aymeric Laporte. Kyle Walker. Mahrez. Walker again. Walker into Palmer. He's found a good pocket of space here. Palmer turns. Great play from Palmer. Cole Palmer trips over his feet here as he looks at the pass. Unlucky. And David Laya slams it away. All the way back into the City half, but straight to Kyle Walker, who takes it down out of the air. Walker to Laporte, but I think that Palmer should have done a little bit better there. Nice turn, found by, I think it was Laporte. Turns, then he's going to pick a pass or get the shot off, but clumsy by him really to trip over his own feet. Gomez. Ake. City working down the left now. Ake back to Laporte. Wide to Ake once more by Laporte. Ake tries to find Alvarez, just can't make it stick, can the Argentinian. City press to win the ball back and can't do. Zanka with a switch of play here to Rico Henry. He's made a wonderful overlapping run, the fullback. Henry across the far post here. Evades Visser but finds a Burmo on the far right here. And Burmo onto that left foot. Gomez pushes him away. Aaron Hickey tries to clip it to the far post, does it? Or his Darmsgaard, in fact, tried to lift it heavily to the far post. But really overhit behind for a goal kick. 16, 17 minutes nearly gone here against Brentford. Manchester City on the ascendancy. Maybe. Brentford also having a good game. There's been another goal at the St Mary's, but it's not Liverpool making it 3-0. It is in fact Southampton pulling one back, 2-1. This has been penalised here for a late tackle on Edison as he went to pass it away. Little kick on Edison as he passes it. I think actually Visser was in the box when the goal kick was taken, and that is what they pulled it back for, not an actual foul on Edison. There's been another goal at Villa Park, but Villa haven't doubled the lead. It's Brighton who've equalised, 1-1 at Villa Park. Brighton get a goal for themselves. So Southampton have just scored. There's been a goal as well at Old Trafford, but it isn't for Manchester United. Fulham take the lead at Old Trafford against City's FA Cup rivals. Next weekend, Manchester United losing 1-0 to Fulham. So the goals are going in. Southampton have pulled one back against Liverpool to make it 2-1. Fulham have just taken the lead at Old Trafford to make it 1-0. And Brighton have just equalised against Aston Villa at Villa Park. Long ball to Visser here. Laporte takes down Visser in the box. Could it be a penalty? Referee Peter Banks says no. But that was a risky tackle by Laporte. Seemed to slip in the box and take out the Brentford player. Rico Lewis does really well to keep hold of that. Walker. Phillips. Walker slips in his box here, gives it away. Brentford and Burmo, nice touch, and Sergio Gomez steps in to slice it away. And Burmo, nice little touch to turn Ake in the box, going to get the shot off. So Calvin Phillips to give it to Kyle Walker when he wasn't quite expecting it. But one really long ball by Brentford completely cut City open. I think actually Port gets the ball there, but did he make a handball on the way through? It was Onyeka. Oh, Onyeka flicks it onto the hand of Laporte in the box. Could they do anything about that? I don't think it actually does touch Laporte's hand. It did initially look like it, but I don't think it did. There will be a VAR check. I don't think Brentford will be getting anything from that. The referee says play on. Brentford take a throw into Mbeumo. Looking to swing one in, are they? Brentford do swing one in with Rico Henry to the far post. Sergio Gomez loses out to Ethan Pinnock at the far post. Gomez just gets his body in the way. It's just enough to put off the centre-back. That was a good chance of Brentford again. Lovely swing in. Gomez was playing Pinnock on side, who should do better really with that. Gomez sort of nods it onto the leg of Pinnock. Edison looks to Laporte to take the goal kick. Laporte taking his time here. City just trying to calm it down. Laporte looks long towards Alvarez, who takes it well. It's actually Palmer, he's lost it. Calvin Phillips steps in for the tackle and wins it back for City. Lewis goes back to Walker. Well, there's a VAR intervention at Villa Park. Don't know what for. I'll keep you guys updated there. Ake. Gomez. Bad pass back to Ake. Laporte's got to get there and go back to goalkeeper Edison. Then goes wide to Kyle Walker. Lost it, Walker. The best of touches, but he keeps hold of it. Then he finds Cole Palmer. Palmer, nicely done by Cole Palmer. Shimmy, drop of the shoulder. VAR says offside and Brighton's equaliser has been ruled out. It is Villa who keep the lead at Villa Park. Sergio Gomez. Palmer Phillips. Rico Lewis, good play from City. Rico. Wide to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez got 2 Brentford players to beat here and no support at all. Goes back into Calvin Phillips. Nathan Ake, who's stepping right up into midfield here. Ake. Laporte, City playing an incredibly high line against a very quick Brentford attacking in Burmo. And Visser, it's confident, it's brave from Manchester City. Lewis, Phillips. Ake. City in control, but Brentford have had the better chances so far. Gomez. Ake. Back to Laporte. City work it all the way back to Edison now. Brentford, good play. Defensively, pressing City, stopping them creating chances. Edison into Aimé Laporte. Nice find into Foden. Phillips. Gomez. City knocking the ball around. Well. Laporte. Rico Lewis. Great first touch on the right foot. Gives himself a chance and space. Rico Lewis into Phil Foden, who skips past Aaron Hickey in the challenge. Nice play from Phil Foden. Really nice play. Here's Cole Palmer. Could work it wide right to Mahrez. Palmer takes his time here. Palmer onto his left foot. Then wide to Mahrez slowly. Mahrez. Little step over. Little ball roll. Mahrez looking to shoot. No. Mahrez. Drifts inside now, Riyad Mahrez. Clips into a wide channel to Sergio Gomez on this far left-hand side. He takes a poor first touch, which stops him getting a shot off. Or a cross in. Ake. Here's Calvin Phillips. Runners. Flips then into Kyle Walker. On to Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez still for Manchester City. Switch again towards Gomez. Just comes off the knee of Aaron Hickey. Applauded the pass and the idea from Mahrez by Phil Foden. Throwing City on the far left-hand side. Sophie Greenwood is here. Hello to you, Sophie. Well, no goals here so far against Brentford. Gomez throws it down. It's a poor throw-in. Luckily, Alvarez makes the most of it. Gomez again. And there's a late tackle on Sergio Gomez by Aaron Hickey. Brentford protest. The referees give a free kick here. Gomez holds the ankle here in pain. And Peter Banks is giving a talking to the Brentford player here, who's really protested on this one. It's a late one on the boot of Gomez. And it isn't Aaron Hickey with a foul. It's actually Zanker, I believe, or perhaps Ethan Pinnock. Comes down the top of the studs on the boot of Sergio Gomez. City chance to cross one in now. Riyad Mahrez on this left-hand side. Options in the box like Ake and Laporte, big men. Brentford are very good though, set-piece-wise, defensively and offensively. And Mahrez to swing it in perhaps, or it'll be an in-swinger. Mahrez does swing it in. Cleared away by Brentford. And the referee gives a free kick Brentford's way here. Johan Visser has gone down holding his face. He just runs straight in the side of Aimé Laporte. Didn't seem like much of a foul, but the referee give it afterwards. Laporte literally just stands there and Visser runs straight into him. Don't know what Laporte can do. I mean, Visser runs right into Laporte. What does he want Laporte to do there? Strange from Visser. Free kick Brentford for absolutely nothing, really. That's the way it works sometimes. Thomas Frank here having discussion with his coach on the bench. What to do next. This is going to be okay to continue. And David Raya. There's been a penalty at Old Trafford, but for who? Fulham or Manchester United, I'm not quite sure. But there is a penalty at Old Trafford. David Raya sends it long here for Brentford. Looking to get in behind Manchester City. Good header by, actually, Cole Palmer of all people. Rico Lewis into Alvarez. Good touch and wide to Kyle Walker. City with bodies and options going forward now. There's been a goal at Villa Park. Aston Villa have doubled their lead to make it 2-0. And Fulham have missed the penalty against Manchester United to double their lead to make it 2-0. Crazy from Fulham. Missed a big chance there. That's a big opportunity missed, I'm sure. But Villa lead 2-0 against Brighton. And Fulham have missed the penalty at Old Trafford, meaning it's still only 1-0 to Fulham. Here is Aymeric Laporte. Ake. Goal for Chelsea. At Stamford Bridge, you equalise against Newcastle. So Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1 as it stands. Ake with the ball forward, deflects. Rico Lewis chase it down. Bumped into by Zanker. City should win this back in the midfield. Calvin Phillips here. Does well. Goes back to goalkeeper Edison. Well done. There's been a goal in plenty of places. Villa have scored to make it 2-0. Chelsea have scored to make it 1-1. And there's been a goal at the Emirates as well. Arsenal 3, Wolves 0. Arsenal score third goal of the game now. To have a 3-0 lead over Wolves at the Emirates. Too little, too late from Arsenal though. They've already lost that Premier League title. There's been a free kick for Manchester City. A late tackle by Janelt. Laporte driving forward over the halfway line. A little kick on the back of the ankle. Meaning City get a free kick. It's taken quickly. Goal Chelsea. Pep needs to be brought in to score 2 in order to once again have more goals in the whole of Chelsea. Bring Haaland up. Palmer here pressing Rico Henry and actually wins it back off Henry. Palmer, little nutmeg on Rico Henry, who keeps it. Good play from the fullback. Then past Rico Lewis, doesn't even touch Rico Henry, but Henry goes down. There's been a goal at St Mary's. And it's for Southampton. Southampton 2, Liverpool 2. An equaliser for the relegated side. Rico Henry did well, and Rico Lewis hardly fouled him, but Henry goes down and wins the free kick. Bought that free kick, Rico Henry. Haaland, not Pep's fault. I thought he would have meant Haaland. I thought when he said Pep needs to be brought in, I thought he meant, oh, Pep needs to make the changes and bring the more attacking players on. Yeah, Haaland comes on. Scores 2 goals. I don't think he'll come on today, Haaland. I don't, but we'll have to see. Brentford here, late roll all the way through to Edison. Here is Edison. Studs on the ball here, taking his time, the Brazilian. Edison looking for options for Manchester City. Brentford not pressing the Brazilian. Visser does, and Edison just picks it up. Edison might send this one long, might he? And he is going to. Long by Edison. Straight to Brentford. And Burmo takes it. That's a poor kick from Edison, really. And Burmo. Ake, great defending. Absolutely class player, Ake. Alvarez keeps holding for Manchester City. And goes across to Walker. Fantastic from him. Here's Kyle Walker. Infield to Rico Lewis. Manchester City with options. Lewis. Lewis still. Onto Walker. Back to Rico Lewis. Calvin Phillips. Nathan Ake. Cole Palmer takes a touch. Ben Mee tight to him. Alvarez turns. Alvarez. Wide to Gomez in space on this left-hand side for Manchester City. Brentford hold their shape. Everyone back in a defensive position. Laporte. Mistaken pass to Ake, but rolls through to Gomez. Foden. Ake. Ake's going to have to go back to Edison here, but they press it Edison, so Ake goes forward and Gomez managed to flick it onto Foden, and City make a meal of this one. Callum Phillips a late tackle on Brentford. Peter Banks plays the advantage, and then Mbeumo makes a poor touch. Lumps the ball into the stands. That sounds like it. That looks like a descent there from Mbeumo. The referee won't pick him up for that. Frustrating Mbeumo there that they haven't had the ball. Thrown by Gomez towards Alvarez, who switches it wildly to the right-hand side to Mahrez and taken down by Rico Henry. Brentford back in possession. Ben Mee to goalkeeper David Raya. Raya, right-footed ball. Forward towards Mbeumo. Gomez does well physically. Foden under pressure from Hickey. He did well as well, and that allows Mbeumo to pick it up for Brentford. Pinnock. Mbeumo. Trying to make the runs in behind Mbeumo, trying to stretch the City defence. Onyeka. Brentford play it round the back. Ball forward here to Visser. They go wide. Rico Henry. Janelt. Back to Ben Mee in the back three here. All the way back to Ethan Pinnock go Brentford. Pinnock onto David Raya. Might look to go forward with this pass, David Raya, which he does. Great pass into Aaron Hickey. And Hickey takes a heavy touch, but still keeps the ball away from Calvin Phillips. Janelt. Ben Mee. Back they go to Pinnock again. Olays from Brentford fans here. The GTEC Community Stadium. David Raya long. Hickey on. And Ake picks it up from Mbeumo. Mbeumo, a little kick on Nathan Ake. Free kick Manchester City, and Mbeumo, who stood on top of Ake, doesn't even let him pass it. Ake into Phillips. Alvarez. Gives it away. Does Julian Alvarez. Phillips' pass. You give it to him when there's had 3 players round. It made it very difficult. Hickey. Heavy touch here by the Brentford man and good pressing by Sergio Gomez on Darmsgaard. It's a throw into Manchester City. They may have been a goal at Palace Forest. Nottingham Forest are in with a chance, perhaps. Here's Edison. Rico Lewis. Playing pretty much as a central midfield now. There has been a goal at Selhurst Park. It's a goal for Nottingham Forest, who take the lead against Crystal Palace. Rico Lewis. Calvin Phillips. On the centre circle. Even with this guy's doing decent, I'd still give the second half for some of the regular 11 boys. They haven't played in a bit. And I'd give them at least 30 minutes. Yeah, you want to keep the sharpness up, don't you, Flavius? I agree with that. Just think maybe Pep Guardiola's worried about injuries. I think that's probably a big thing on his mind. Walker. Foden. I'd right to Rico Lewis. Walker. Mahrez. City really struggling to break down this Brentford side. Foden. Phillips. Will City score today? The moment it feels like they won't. Riyad Mahrez. All left foot again. Phillips. Ake. Laporte. Laporte looking to pick a pass. Looking to break this Brentford side down. Laporte. Walker. Here's Riyad Mahrez. Walker again. Still taking his time. Phillips. Ake. City patient in possession. Run by Palmer. Ake can't find him. Alvarez. Ake. Phillips. There's been a goal, which is a massive goal in the terms of who gets relegated. Leicester City have taken the lead against West Ham United. Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Could we see the great escape from Leicester here today? Ake onto Gomez. I think that moves Leicester up out of the relegation zone. Ake, good interception. Calvin Phillips. Come on, City. We need to see more from you. Phillips. Rico Lewis. Palmer. Into Alvarez. Good touch, was it? No, just a little bit too heavy. Pressuring David Raya, though. He's pressed into slicing the ball out of play for a throw into Manchester City. And Leicester City do have a goal. That's massive in the relegation battle. I think that keeps Leicester City up. Leeds down and Everton down as it stands. Everton need to beat Bournemouth. Ake back to Edison. I'm Eric Laporte. Ake. Back to Edison. Options for Edison to pick going forward, and he sends this one into Alvarez, who nods it onto Phil Foden. Can't get there. Darmsgaard knocks it back to fullback Aaron Hickey. Brentford back in possession. Well, City yet to really test the Brentford goalkeeper David Raya. Bar one chance from Cole Palmer, which he maybe should have done better with. It's a very good chance for Palmer. Raya takes his time. Wide left to Ethan Pinnock. Ball forward straight to Ivan Laporte, who sends it into Palmer. He wants his side to attack Laporte. That's why he sends it straight forward. Calvin Phillips picks a pass wide left to Sergio Gomez. Back to Laporte in the centre circle now. Laporte goes past Phillips. He's driving to the midfield for the team. And back to Phillips. Walker. Wide right to Mahrez. Little clipping behind it to Cole Palmer, who might get there. David Raya quickly off his line. Inventiveness from Riyad Mahrez. But Cole Palmer just can't get in the end of it. Can't get in the end of it. Ben Mee forward. Visser. Onyeka. Rico Henry. Driving at Kyle Walker. He won't beat Walker for pace. Good play by Henry though. Cuts back. Visser. Henry again. Henry back in behind here. Chance for Brentford. Ivan Laporte across. Right-footed clearance away for a throw into Brentford, who is starting to push a little bit more now in forward areas as they look to try and get a goal from this. Take the lead if they can. Good play by Rico Henry on that left-hand side, the fullback. Cut back inside into Onyeka, back to him. Nice ball in behind to Mbermo. Zanka to take a long, big throw in here. Launch it into the box here for City defend. How will he do? Zanka. All the way back to the hoardings behind him. Plenty of big boys in the box for Brentford. Zanka launches it in. City miss it. Chance for here for Brentford. And a good save by Edison. It's Ben Mee on the turn. He drops for him on the turn, shoots his left foot, and Edison makes the save. Good touch by Ben Mee, actually. And a really good chance. Swivels on it. Phillips can't catch him. Hits it. Edison parries it away. Corner ball and Burma over it. Plenty of bodies in the box here for Brentford. All stood on the far goal post side, looking to maybe give Edison an issue. Brentford cross it in. Headed over by Ben Mee. Chance again for the ex-City man. Cross comes in and he heads it over the bar. I think Brentford have had the more chance than Manchester City. There's been a goal at Villa Park. And it's Brighton Hove Albion, the Zerbi side, make it 2-1. They pull a goal back against Aston Villa. Rico Lewis onto Laporte. Slides in for a challenge, but so is Rico Henry, who wins it back for his team. And City win it back again. And I think there's going offside or a handball or something in there from Onyeka. City get a free kick. It was a bit of an underhit pass by Rico Lewis, which made it very difficult for Laporte to get the end of. Edison telling his City players to go long. He's going to send it up the field. Try and get City in Brentford's half, which they haven't been much, really. Especially not in Brentford's box. Edison sends it long. Straight out for a goal kick. Trying to send it towards Riyad Mahrez, who couldn't control it, couldn't even get a header on it. Rico Henry was tight to him. Ben Mee with a throwing forward. Clipped forward by Brentford again, and Burmo chested down to Visser. And Burmo wants a free kick for a foul by Laporte, who just stood there and let Burmo run into him. Referee says no. Edison. Clips it into Palmer. Nods it onto Alvarez. Pushing the back by Pinnock, who takes it off Alvarez. And then Visser gives it straight away back to City. Gomez, Ake. It's got to go back to Edison here. Wide right to Mahrez by Edison. It's a lovely pass. Mahrez under pressure from Rico Lewis. And gives it away as Riyad Mahrez towards Onyeka. Counter of Visser. And Burmo skips past Mahrez, who's looked slow, has not looked good. Manchester United have scored at Old Trafford to level up against Fulham. Fulham who missed the penalty. And United equalise. Free kick here for Brentford as Calvin Phillips puts a little push on Janelt. Not too happy with that one, Phillips, but just a little shove on Janelt as he passed the ball away. Referee gives a free kick to Brentford. But United have scored at Old Trafford to level up against Fulham now. Fulham could have been 2-1 up, but they've thrown it away. 38 minutes gone here at Brentford. City 0, Brentford 0. Only this game and the Everton-Bournemouth game with no goals so far in the Premier League final day, where every team is playing. 10 Premier League fixtures on show today. And Burmo over this free kick. It looks like he wants to shoot here in Burmo, which is interesting. He clips it into the box. Headed down. Brentford with a chance here. Gomez gets it away. Does he know? Shot blocked. Alvarez can't beat Ben Mee to it. City battling Alvarez in a foot race with Hickey. One back by Burmo. Skips past Alvarez. Tries a little nutmeg and fill phone, which doesn't come off. Throwing to Brentford again. I have to say, Brentford have been the better side here so far today. Certainly been the better side. Thomas Frank doing a very good job here with the Brentford side. Very good job with them. Top 10 finish at Brentford this season looks like it's going to happen. Constant progression for his side. And Zanka's going to take another long throw in here. One for City to try and deal with. Zanka over this. Zanka long and into the box. Ben Mee with a knock on. Flicked him in the air. Nathan Ake heads it away. Chance for Brentford in the volley. Blocked away by Mahrez. And again by Van Aert. And Janelt sends it over and into the stands. That's a double chance of Brentford. Applause from the fans who appreciate the effort. Menby clipped it on. Ake tries to head it away. Janelt on the volley blocked by Phillips. And Janelt on the volley again. But got underneath it. Up and into the stands by the midfielder. But all the action has been in Manchester City's box here. Brentford, the better side so far. Edison Long. Won by Rico Henry against Riyad Mahrez, who's been poor. Walker steps out against Onyeka. It's away from Walker. Damsgaard flicks into Mbermo. Ake heads it away. Could fall to Visser. Aymeric Laporte slices it up and behind. Ben Mee against Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez is having a very poor game here today. Don't think he had a great one against Brighton either. Slow. Looks second. He's second best to everything at the moment, Riyad Mahrez, on that far right hand side. That's not the Mahrez we know. Brentford a mistake and Manchester City will take a goal kick. Didn't work out for Brentford there from the throw-in. A well-drilled side. Fantastic on set pieces. They've shown it all season. Shown it all season. So far hasn't come off for them today. Pep Guardiola. Onto Laporte. Laporte lost out there with his pass towards Alvarez. City trying to play a long ball here actually, and it's not working at all. The ball won back by Brentford again. Rico Henry away from Mahrez and down to Ben Mee. Ben Mee in behind to Mbermo. Tries to flick it onto Rico Henry. Can't beat Laporte. It's a throw Brentford's way. Laporte went across to take it. Referee said no. It's not yours. 42 minutes gone here, the GTEC Community Arena. And it's looking like 0-0 at half time. Not the most exciting of games, I have to say, so far between the two sides. Sanka over this one. To throw it in. On this long throw with options in the box. Sanka goes back. All the way back to David Raya. And then hammers the ball forward. Straight out. For a goal kick, nearly Edison goes and picks it up. That's really poor from David Raya. Saibly frustrated. Edison. Didn't need to do that, David Raya. Edison into Ake. Can Manchester City go forward here? Ake wide to Gomez. Ake fouled. Referee plays the advantage. Phillips. Back to Ake again. Edison. Good pass to Rico Lewis. Nice movement from Rico. They're going to try and move forward. Rico Lewis pulled by Onyeka. Gomez. Into Palmer. Good touch by Palmer. And then wide right to Kyle Walker. That's good play from Cole Palmer. City with a chance here. Walker drives his side forward. Walker. Wide to Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez here. Step overs. Mahrez. Mahrez still. Cross to Sergio Gomez. First chance shot from Gomez. And it's a poor one. He sliced it wide for a goal kick. That's really poor from Gomez. Gets it all wrong. Does the shot. Good chance for City, but Gomez really, really poor finish. Straight out for a throw. I mean, you'd at least want to test the goalkeeper there. The Spaniard. Tries to hit it first time. Hits it really far wide. Really far wide. Should be doing a lot better. Should be doing a lot better. Here's Damsgaard. Aaron Hickey. Ethan Pinnock. Brentford playing out the back like Manchester City do. Yet to find a way through City, but have had the much better time in terms of creating chances than Manchester City. Visser. Zanka. Hickey. Back to Zanka. Switch of play. Out to Rico Henry. Brentford are trying to start this attack. If they can, Onyeka. Ben Mee and Brentford go back again. It's been a pretty dull game of football, to be honest with you, so far. Not exciting by any means. Zanka. Hickey. Give it away to Phil Foden. Throwing Manchester City. It's half-time at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 1. West Ham United 0. That could be the goal that keeps Leicester in the Premier League. Massive goal. Gomez for the throw-in. Alvarez. Gomez. Foden. Alvarez, great play by City, and Julian Alvarez. Chance for Manchester City now. Alvarez, across the box here, clipped away by Ben Mee. Mahrez, Rico Lewis takes it down. Calvin Phillips. He's trying to recycle possession with Kyle Walker. Walker, cross in here. Headed by City, and Alvarez heads it wide. And he's hurt his back here as Julian Alvarez, who is down and in pain. And he might need some medical treatment here, the Argentinian. Holding his back. And in a lot of pain, Julian Alvarez. Cross coming by Walker. Alvarez at the far post. Hickey just bumps him on the way through. Which means he goes down back first. And that is half time here. Manchester City 0, Brentford 0. Not the most exciting game. I did say give Calvin another shot, but this Gomez guy already says Flavio Ever. He hasn't been good, Gomez, at all. At all. He's been very poor. Ultra Games says West Ham will be saving their good players for conference final. Very true, and that might just be what keeps Leicester City in the Premier League. We'll be back for the second half. I'm going to have a short break over half time. It is Manchester City 0, Brentford 0. Let's hope for a better second half, shall we? More entertaining, at least.
Got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. How do you my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it, 'cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do it all 'cause I'm feeling so good. I'm a bug and I'm so quick to hit ignore. Buku bitches in my bed. I got scales all on my floor. I got money on the line, plus I'm clocking it galore. I got bitches kissing bitches, all them bitches go explore. I'm feeling way up. I stay up. Put your bitch on my Snapchat while I make her. She want a chance with me, cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shorty, I know what you after. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my putting. Put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poop, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor. Trying to stack my money up, cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like, now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
So back for the second half of Manchester City versus Brentford. No changes for Manchester City at half-time. Pep Guardiola's side. The players in the tunnel right now about to re-enter the field for the second half. I'm at Laporte. They were just waiting for maybe having a few last-minute medical checks after that clash with Edison early on in the first half. As things stand in terms of the Premier League, it will be Aston Villa getting 7th place and getting the Europa Conference League football. Spurs will be finishing 8th, Brentford still in 9th, I think. And then down at the bottom of the table, Everton and Leeds, as it stands, will be relegated. On goal difference, it will be that Everton go down because Leicester City are winning against West Ham United and they will be staying up in the league. So Leicester staying up on goal difference, Everton going down. But if Everton were to beat Bournemouth today, then they would stay up by 2 points. So it's all down to that game, isn't it? What happens there? Manchester City versus Brentford, that is our main problem, or our main attention is at Manchester City. And the first half was very dull. City actually had more shots than Brentford. 7 to Brentford 7. 7 to Brentford's 5, sorry. 1 shot on target each. It was a dull game. Let's hope it's a bit better in this second half. Although, to be fair, I don't mind it being like this. I don't mind. Just no injuries, no nothing. City go then to the FA Cup final with a fully fit side ready to face Manchester United, who are 1-1 currently with Fulham. Could have been 2-0 down, but Alexander Mitrovic's penalty was saved by David De Gea. That was a big one there. Here's David Raya for Brentford. The goalkeeper set to set this long. There's been a goal at the St Mary's. And it's Southampton, early in the second half, have scored now against Liverpool to give themselves a 3-2 lead. Southampton 3, Liverpool 2. Calvin Phillips, the late challenge here on Visser, throws his leg out, takes down the number 11. And a free kick goes Brentford's way here. Nowhere near the ball, Calvin Phillips here. Just pushed him and then fell on top of Visser. Poor tackle from Calvin Phillips. I saw Liverpool's opening goal. It was actually an assist by Romeo Lavia, ex-City player. He passed it across his own box straight to Diogo Jota, who tapped it in the back of the net. That was poor from him, but Southampton from 2-0 down, they found themselves 3-2 in front. Shows how they can play when the pressure is off. Brentford with a free kick here. One of their best opportunities might come from this free kick. They are very much a heavily reliant set-piece side. And Burmo and Dam's got over this. Janelt far left. And Burmo to take this. Swung in on the left foot of Burmo to the far post here, all the way to Visser. But it's too heavy. And it goes all the way out for a goal kick. Kyle Walker, the captain. Watch that all the way there. Not the best from Burmo. Couldn't find, you're looking for someone like Ben Mee, you'd think, Brentford in the box there, but they weren't. Trying to swing it round to the far post, and that didn't work out at all. Laporte. City play the goal kick short to Edison. And clips it into the path of Riyad Mahrez on the chest, who then loses it to Ben Mee. Mahrez has been so poor. Doesn't look like he can control the ball, Riyad Mahrez. Henry. Burst past Kyle Walker, ball into Visser, what a pass! Good tackle by Calvin Phillips in the box here, then Rico Lewis foul, but what a challenge by Calvin Phillips in the box there. Stuck his leg out, won the ball cleanly. Stopped Burmo from getting a touch to, create some space for himself, get a shot off. It was brilliant by Phillips. And then Burmo in the end made a foul on Rico Lewis, but I have to say, Riyad Mahrez, so lazy. Doesn't seem to want a battle at all. Hardly touched the ball there and lost it. Edison out to Gomez. On the corner to Foden. Foden back into Sergio Gomez. Good play from Phil Foden. Julian Alvarez. Foden stays down. Alvarez still, and City have to go backwards to it. Alvarez managed to work it sideways with a switch of play to Kyle Walker. Brings the ball forward, the captain. Walker. Into Alvarez. Lays off to Calvin Phillips. Out to Phil Foden. Foden through to Alvarez here. Julian Alvarez looking to get out into that stronger right foot. Alvarez. Brentford get 2 players across and make it impossible. There's been another goal against Leeds. It's Tottenham scored again. 2-0 Spurs and Leeds United are getting relegated. That is Leeds done, surely. 2-0 Spurs. Surely that is Leeds gone now. So it's between Leicester and Everton. If Everton get a win against Bournemouth, they'll stay up. Alvarez into Foden. Foden on the left foot here. Blocked by Ethan Pinnock. And away by Bournemouth. Nathan Ake in there to win the header. Underneath it is Zanka. Lump long to Mbermo to deal with. Laporte wins the header brilliantly. Brilliant from Aymeric Laporte. City keep that possession again. Here's Kyle Walker. Walker. Lewis. Mahrez. Walker again. Kyle Walker still. Into Cole Palmer. Turned by Palmer with that left foot. Phillips. Foden. Under pressure here. Foden onto Ake. Mahrez is unhappy that he didn't receive the ball there. He wanted it out to his side. I think next season is going to be decisive for Calvin Phillips. He's either going to be good or we're going to have our own Harry Maguire. Hopefully not for long. I don't know. I think he's been okay today, Phillips. I think he's been quite good today, Phillips. Hasn't he? He's not been amazing, but he's doing his job so far. Laporte. Foden. Rico Lewis flicks it on. Alvarez can't control it. Rico Henry under pressure from Julian Alvarez. Good play from Henry. Manages to clear it away on his far as Kyle Walker, but good work. Visser on Walker here. Free kick Manchester City. It was a bit of a flop from Kyle Walker, bit of a dive. City get the free kick. Walker takes it quickly into Calvin Phillips. Ake. Foden. Still Phil Foden. Trying to find a way through his Brentford side, which City just can't seem to at the moment. And Foden's lost it here. There's a counter attack for Brentford and Bournemouth. And Foden goes and wins it back. Well played, Phil. Well played, Phil. Give it away, won it back. Foden. Walker. Mahrez. On this right-hand side, Riyad Mahrez. Doesn't give us the security control of Rodri, but then again, I'm comparing Phillips to the best defensive midfielder in the world. City with a chance here. Cole Palmer dips the goalkeeper. Not the best of chips by Palmer. Not enough power on it. Too high. David Raya makes the save. That's a good chance for City. Yeah, Phillips is obviously not as good as Rodri. He's never going to be. We just need him there to be solid enough when Rodri... You know, sometimes Rodri's got to have a rest, and he hasn't seen that this season. We just need Phillips to be good enough that when Rodri needs a rest, he's there to play football. And hopefully if he can just get to the level where he's a solid enough player to play the game, does nothing spectacular but does his job, that's exactly what we want for him. That's what we signed him for. Just to give Rodri a rest. There's David Raya. Long by the Spaniard. Ake. Good win by Ake, and then Gomez gets it back and goes all the way back to Ederson here. Ederson looks long straight away. Phil Foden feels like he's been fouled by Aaron Hickey. Peter Banks says no. Arms out wide by Phil Foden. It looks like it's been another goal at the Emirates. Perhaps for Arsenal. Pinnock. Janelt. It is another goal for Arsenal. 4-0 at the Emirates. Arsenal lead against Wolves, who are being torn apart. Well, doesn't mean anything, Arsenal, does it? What a waste of 4 goals. If it was the final day of the season and you were winning 4-0 and City was drawing 0-0 with Brentford and, you know, it was still tight, then of course that would mean something, wouldn't it? Imagine if Arsenal winning 4-0 against Wolves and City winning 0-0 with Brentford and both sides had to win the league. Arsenal would be, you know, thinking they'd done it, wouldn't they, really? Evening all, apologies for my tardiness. Chris is just a little bit too late. How is City going on? Not very well, Chris, to be honest with you. It's been a pretty dull game. Walker's just given away a foul here. A push on Rico Henry. Henry pushed Walker first. Walker went and fouled Rico Henry back. But the referee only buys into the Henry one that Walker did to him. And Brentford get a free kick. But yeah, City haven't been great today. A little bit dull. Not been very impressive from City. Arsenal win all too late, says Ultra Gamer. We don't need to win this. Very true. Very true. But it would have been interesting, wouldn't it, if it did actually mean something. Of course, we wouldn't. If it did mean something, we wouldn't have this team out here today. Erling Haaland would be on, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish. All the big boys would be playing, Stones, Diaz and so on. And even with a rotated side, City are doing well. Well, actually, Arsenal's goal has been ruled out. They're not 4-0 up, they're only 3-0 up. VAR has ruled Arsenal's goal out. Not sure what for. And Bournemouth swings one in here. Chance for Brentford. Ben Mee with a shot here. Alvarez kicks Ben Mee in. They want a penalty to Brentford. Ben Mee goes down the box. Will they get one? VAR will check it. I didn't think it was. Back in by Brentford. Far post. Kyle Walker's lost out. Another chance for Brentford. Nathan Ake loses the header but clips it away. Phillips wins a header and Palmer onto Foden. Rico Henry picks up on the far right hand side now. It sounds like the typical meaningless end of season matches, Chris. Yeah. Hardly anything going on. Hardly anything going on. Walker's lost the head here. Ben Mee with a chance here. Rico Lewis slides in. Hits his hands, does it? Chance again for Brentford. Edison saves it, then dives on it. The Brentford goalkeeper player goes sliding on Edison, who gets kicked in the hand. And the Brentford players are surrounding the referee here. They want a penalty for handball. Goal for Manchester United at Old Trafford, who take the lead. Ben Mee has a shot. There wasn't handball there. Brentford want handball here. Comes off the shoulder of Calvin Phillips. It's not handball. I'm not sure what happened before that, though. I think it was Rico Lewis who dives in. As the ball comes back in, Rico Lewis makes a block. He just dives in. Rico Lewis, not much he can do, really. But I think VAR is going to say nothing here. But the Brentford fans are complaining. And there's a yellow card for a Brentford player. I'm not sure who it is, but a Brentford player's just got a yellow card here for going in the goalkeeper's box. Johan Visser, he stood in City's box as the goal kick's being taken. We're going to have a look again at this chance. As Ben Mee shoots, Rico Lewis dives in to tackle him. And it does hit his hand on the way through. I think that should be a penalty for Brentford. I'm not sure if they'll get it. MK's here. Mahrez here. Tackled by Ben Mee. Mahrez has been so poor. Well, the Brentford fans are right behind the team now, unhappy. Johan Visser getting a yellow card for getting too close in the box. Brentford are feeling hard done by. Ball behind to Visser here. Edison off his line and gets there ahead of Visser. Down to Rico Lewis, and City look to go forward. Well, City are struggling a little bit here. And Brentford are starting to really get things going, aren't they? Here's Calvin Phillips. Sergio Gomez. Ake. Walker. Ake again. Laporte. Rico Lewis. Brentford fans chant the referee isn't fit to referee. Mahrez, rate one by Rico Henry on Riyad Mahrez. They're playing very tight to Mahrez. And Mahrez doesn't seem to want the physical battle at all. Thomas Frank's now having a go at the official, saying it was handball. I think it was handball in the box. And Thomas Frank's going to get a yellow card now for complaining to Peter Banks. The VAR have changed it. They said that it's not a penalty. I thought it was a penalty for Brentford. It hits Rico Lewis's hand on the way through. A smile from Thomas Frank as the referee gives him a yellow card, but the Brentford players are still protesting it should be handball for a penalty. Ben Mee looks to lay it off to Ethan Pinnock. Rico Lewis dives in, and it hits Rico Lewis's hand on the way through. I think it could be a penalty, but you've seen him. I think it should be a penalty. I think Manchester City, if it went our way, I'd want a penalty for that, but they don't give it. Calvin Phillips, Aymeric Laporte. Palmer. Ake. Here is Phil Foden. Walker. Wide to Mahrez. Rico Lewis makes running behind. Riyad Mahrez, who's just been absolutely nullified here today. We're playing like we're on 10 men with him. Arsenal have scored again, 4-0. This time it seems to be allowed. Arsenal 4, Wolves 0. And there could be a relegation important goal here. Everton have scored against Bournemouth. And it stands Leicester going down. Alvarez from range here and wide. David Raya dives for it. Alvarez can't get it on target. Everton have scored 1-0 against Bournemouth. As it stands, Everton are staying in the Premier League. And Leicester City are about to be relegated. Goal for Everton. Massive goal for Everton. So Arsenal have scored and Everton score. Alvarez just had a shot then that I maybe made it more overexciting than it was, but was wide of the post by Julian Alvarez. David Raya with a heavy touch here. Under pressure from Phil Foden. Couldn't get there. Pinnock. City win it back. Foden. Again, can't get his footing strong enough. Phil Foden there. And then Rico Lewis loses out to Kyle Walker. Mahrez. Foden. Runs into Riyad Mahrez. Foden to Calvin Phillips. Good play from Phil Foden. Phillips. Onto Alvarez. Got Brentford bodies round him and not sure where to go. And Sergio Gomez goes back and City starts again. Gomez. That's a massive goal for Everton, isn't it? That's them staying in the league if it stays that way. Phil Foden. Across to Nathan Ake. Ake. Palmer. Ake. Alvarez. Sergio Gomez. Chased by Aaron Hickey. Pressed well by Hickey. Bakayoko to Laporte as Gomez. Laporte into Kyle Walker. Options centrally. Leicester can go down, to be fair. They need a wake-up call to Flavius. Yeah, I mean, I think any team that hires Dean Smith deserves to go down, so I'm not too bothered about that. Alvarez, a bad pass to Phil Foden. Late challenge from Julian Alvarez by Zanka. Peter Banks says no free kick. Referee says play on. Walker. Foden. Laporte instructing his City forwards to make runs in behind the defence. Stop dropping deep. Laporte. Foden. Chance of Foden here to Cole Palmer. Chance of Foden again here. Oh, Palmer. Too slow to make a decision whether to pass or shoot. Gomez tackles the Brentford player. Runs straight to Sergio Gomez. Damsgaard it was. And it's a free kick for Brentford here. Which is ironically cheered by the Brentford stadium. Through the legs of Sergio Gomez, I think. And then he just puts his arms up. Lets Damsgaard run into him. Gives away a free kick deep in the Brentford half. As he tries to launch a counter-attack for this Brentford side. Thomas Frank's got his whiteboard out here. With the players all lined up. And he's looking at it. Interesting. By Thomas Frank. Everyone can see what he's doing here tactically. The way City are lined up. Very interesting from Thomas Frank to get his whiteboard out in front of everyone. If Pep Guardiola, I'd walk over and have a bit of a look at that. Maybe one of his assistants will. David Raya to take this. Thomas Frank working things out tactically on his whiteboard. He's not even watching the game, Thomas Frank. He's just working things out tactically on his whiteboard. David Raya sends it long. Calvin Phillips just gets enough on the header. Mahrez across to Sergio Gomez. And Manchester City to come forward here, surely. Gomez. Forward. Forward, City. Forward, Gomez. Into Phil Foden's path. Foden. Great switch out to Riyad Mahrez. Nice first touch by Mahrez. Does it come up off the hand of Riyad Mahrez? Mahrez out to Rico Lewis. Brentford fans think so. Referee plays on. Mahrez again. Mahrez into Walker. Walker wide to Nathan Ake. Foden. Alvarez. Palmer. Back to Alvarez. The shot here. Great defending by Brentford. Ethan Pinnock sliding to block the shot from Alvarez. He was going towards that near post on the left-hand side as he played in brilliantly by Phil Foden. It's a corner, Manchester City. Nice intricate stuff from City. In around the box. Phil Foden into Alvarez, into Palmer. Back and behind through the legs. And Alvarez shot blocked away by Pinnock. And Manchester City are going to make a change here. And it's going to be, I think, young Shea Charles who comes on. I think. Mahrez to take the cross here. Crossing by Mahrez in the corner. Alvarez in there, away by Pinnock. Straight back in there by Sergio Gomez, who I don't think would get in Brentford's team. I don't think he'd get in teams lower down the league. Goal for Leicester City. 2-0 at the King Power Stadium. Leicester have a 2-0 lead, but that doesn't matter. And Manchester City make a change here. It is Premier League debut and Manchester City debut time for young Shea Charles, who is going to come onto the field here for Nathan Ake. Chris is Southampton 40 up. They are as well. Yep, Southampton have just scored against Liverpool. Southampton 4, Liverpool 2. So Ake off and rested. And young Shea Charles comes on for his Manchester City debut. Nice to see from Pep Guardiola. Is that the crazy thing Pep was talking about? Maybe Shea Charles is going to be playing the next few games. I doubt it, but good to see that young man come on and get some games for City. His first ever game for Manchester City. I think he's filling in at centre-back in that Nathan Ake position. Yeah, Southampton 4-2 up against Liverpool. Who'd have thought that? David Raya long here. Walker with a little push on Visser. Mahrez wins it. Lewis. Me. Brentford fans want literally anything as a free kick to their side. Walker. Phillips. And back onto Shea Charles here. Onto Aymeric Laporte. Gomez. Phillips. Foden. Shea Charles, born in Manchester, represents Ireland already at senior level internationally. Ethan Pinnock on the back of Julian Alvarez there. And on to Onyeka here. Janalt. Ben Mee. What's happening in the Premier League at the moment? Aaron Hickey. White Damsgaard looks to the cross. Sergio Gomez blocks it. It's a corner ball for Brentford. City believe he was offside. Referee says no. Damsgaard tries to get that cross in, but Gomez blocked it away. Corner ball for Brentford. Chance here. First chance for a youngster like Shea Charles to deal with the physicality of a team like Brentford. Ben Mee asking for the ball to be swung in. Going to be an in-swinger. Goal at Crystal Palace. They score against Forest to equalise 1-1 at Selhurst Park. Swung in by Mbermo. Palmer. Phil Foden picks it up. Foden under pressure from Ben Mee, who's pulling him from behind it. It's going to be a yellow card for Damsgaard here. And it is a yellow card for Damsgaard, who pulls Phil Foden down from behind. As City look to counter. Silly from him. And he's penalised for it. Jogging away does Damsgaard. Foden there looking to lead a counter for City, and Damsgaard arms all over Phil Foden. Dragging him back and stopping any possible counter-attack. Laporte back to Ederson. Ederson looks long towards Alvarez, gives it straight away to Ethan Pinnock. And City, the long ball isn't working. It hasn't worked all day, but City is still trying to do it. Trying to find Alvarez or Mahrez. David Raya. Across to Pinnock. Ethan Pinnock long here. And behind to Rico Henry. Walker says offside. Referee says no. Henry can't get the end of it. And it's a throw into Manchester City. A bit overhit from goalkeeper David Raya. Well, 10 Premier League games in action today. We're approaching the 70th minute mark nearly in all of them. It's Arsenal 4, Wolves 0. Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1. Brentford 0, Manchester City 0. Newcastle 1. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. Palace 1, Forest 1. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. Leeds 0. Tottenham Hotspur 2. Leicester 2, West Ham 0. Fulham 2, Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Got that the wrong way around. Liverpool are losing 4-2 away to Southampton as well. Chance of Brentford here. Snapshot from Onyeka from the edge of the box. Looking for the spectacular. And it's up and over the bar by Onyeka. Nowhere near the goal. Long ball forward by Raya. Shea Charles nods it down. It falls. Onyeka, it just bounces up off the surface. And he tries to power it into the top corner with a spectacular. It's a mile away and into the stands by Onyeka. Laporte to Ederson. Ederson forward to Alvarez, who's pulled down by Ethan Pinnock. Referee says no, free kick. Calvin Phillips with a tackle in there. Headed down by Zanka. Onyeka back over to Ben Mee. I think the crazy thing is it will be the 80th minute where Pep will wear the Manchester costume and bring himself on. Imagine. Saw Manchester yesterday. Apparently he's on 70 grand a year. Chance of Brentford here. Visser across the box here and Burmo in there. Aymeric Laporte clears it away. Amazing chance. Good defending by Laporte. But yeah, apparently Manchester and Moonbeam are on 70 grand a year. That is insane stuff. No wonder that, you know, they want to do that job. I'd do that for 70 grand a year. No complaints. No one even knows who you are. Brentford are going to make a double change here. Sharda looks to be coming on. Zanka to take this throw in. It's going to be a long one for Brentford again as they look to launch this one into the box. Kyle Walker across. Zanka to Rico Henry. Swinging by Henry to the far post here. Shea Charles heads it away. Good defending by the young man. Back in there. Calvin Phillips away for City. Foden can't beat Pinnock to it. Back in by Brentford. Chance here for Mbermo. A little shove by Shea Charles. Just puts Mbermo off. Well done, young defender. Edison out to Calvin Phillips. City are struggling here. But it is a meaningless game, but they have struggled here today. Foden back to Gomez. Laporte. Edison. Over to Kyle Walker. Walker back to Shea Charles, who plays it forward to Riyad Mahrez. Good play from Charles. Ben Mee tackles Charles from Mahrez from behind. Referee says no, free kick. Rico Henry and Burmo. Nice little flick here. Kyle Walker takes down Rico Henry. Referee says no, free kick. Charles still. And it's a throw-in to Manchester City here. Well played, Rico Henry. I'm very frustrated in Burma. He wants a foul here from Kyle Walker. And Peter Banks. All smiles from the referee. The protest of the Brentford players. And here comes the two changes. Josh Da Silva and Sharda. The two players coming on. Well, there could be a twist in the relegation race. The race not to be relegated because Leeds have pulled one back against Spurs here. It's Leeds 1, Tottenham 2. So Damsgaard off for Sharda and Hickey comes off for Josh Da Silva. I think he's been quite good, Aaron Hickey at full-back. Very attacking change for Brentford, bringing on these two players. Another midfielder, another attacker. For a full-back and midfielder. Attacking from Brentford as they look to get the 3 points here on the final day of the season. Walker's take the throw into Manchester City. Back to Edison, he goes with the throw-in. Edison. Cross to Walker. Walker. Forward into Alvarez. Round the corner to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez. Back to Walker. Down the line to Alvarez, who just can't find him. Ethan Pinnock's there. Well dealt with by Brentford, who's defended very solidly today. Liverpool losing 4-2. Says Footflix. Liverpool pull a goal back 4-3. You've cursed them. Liverpool do pull a goal back. 4-3 there. Maybe Liverpool get a comeback on. Here's Da Silva. Sharda. Da Silva. No goals here. At Brentford, the only game in the final game of the season with no goals in it. Ben Mee. I think Spurs may have scored again. I think it's 3-1 to Spurs. That's Leeds dead and buried. That is Leeds down. It is. Spurs 3, Leeds 1. Leeds pull one back and Spurs score straight away after. Leeds are going to the Championship. Sharda against Laporte. Sharda can't control it. And it's behind for a goal kick. The Brentford fans are quite funny, aren't they, really? Because you hear, you know, they let their players pull you all over the place. And if you breathe on one of their players, they want a free kick. Leeds are definitely down to Spurs. Yep, they definitely are down. And Liverpool have scored again. Quite right, Chris. 4-4 at St Mary's. Liverpool have pulled another goal back. And they are level with Southampton now. Wow. 2 quick-fire goals by Jurgen Klopp's men. Exciting end to the Premier League season. Apart from here. Here's Da Silva. Try to take on Gomez here. Gomez puts his foot in. Da Silva loses it. Goes back. Brentford continue to try and break down this City side. We can't break Brentford down. They can't break us down. No goals here at all. Might be VAR, says Chris. Well, maybe Liverpool will lose that 4th goal. We'll have to see. Here's Janot. Onyeka. In behind. Little turn. Shea Charles in there making challenges. And again, great footing by young Shea Charles, who's looked really good since coming on here today. Phil Foden. Foden. Does well dribbling around the challenges here. I curse Southampton, says Footflix. You did. You did, because it's been given that goal. Only goalless game is this one, says Chris. Yeah. Trust us to be watching the dullest game on the final day of the Premier League season. 2 exciting games to go, though. Of course. Riyad Mahrez for Manchester City. Mahrez. Shea Charles. Over to Laporte. He looks very composed in the ball, Shea Charles. What a player. Already. Laporte. Foden. Nice little turn it. Jota goal stances Flavius. Yep, 4-4. Here's Alvarez. Away from Da Silva. And again, Alvarez touching. He loses the ball here. It's poor from Alvarez. Trying to do too much, really. A long ball behind Laporte to Sharda, who beats him for legs. Sharda into the box here. Slipped by Visser and Shea Charles away. Walker can't clear it. Onyeka. Tries to beat Kyle Walker. It makes the challenge and then it's behind for a corner for Brentford. Great chance here for Brentford to take the lead. Shea Charles, a prodigy, says Footflix. He just might be. Looks very good. Made some tackles already in a big game to come on. Shown his quality as Shea Charles. Shown his quality so far. Hasn't shied away from a challenge of the physical battle at all. City can catch Brentford on the counter perhaps at some point, but it doesn't look likely today. Corner for Brentford. 73 minutes gone here. And Bournemouth to swing it in. Left-footed outswinger by the Cameroonian. Ben Mee, who seems to have gotten a lot so far today. Is the target perhaps crossed in here? Across the box completely. Somehow Brentford don't score. Rico Lewis away. Foden. Dispossessed. Trying to do too much, Phil Foden. Swung back in by Brentford. Sharda. Shea Charles on him. Shea Charles tackling the box. Well done, Shea Charles. Sharda again. Back out to Onyeka. Sharda. Back he goes. De Silva. An option. And Burmo is everywhere at the moment. And Burmo again. Driving at the City defence. Calvin Phillips goes in for a tackle. Wins it. Off the Brentford player. And behind for a throw into Manchester City. Good tackle by Calvin Phillips. Catches the ball into Sharda. Sharda on the way through as well. Ball ricochets off Sharda behind. For a goal kick to Manchester City. Very good tackle by Phillips. Very good play by the midfielder who is growing into his role perhaps. Here at Manchester City, hopefully so. Edison. Click forward here. Alvarez pulling Ethan Pinnock, and it's a free kick. Oh, Zanka, it's a free kick to Brentford. Maybe just sell Phillips and use Shea Charles. Rodri's back up to his foot flicks. Well, I think maybe Pep Guardiola sees Charles more of a centre-back, to be honest with you. Just now he's come on today and played him there. Maybe he doesn't see Shea Charles playing that position, that midfield position. You never know. And Bournemouth to take its free kick for Brentford. Alvarez is trying to get in a physical battle with Zanka or Pinnock, and it's very, very difficult. He's like half their size. And the referee is siding the centre-backs. And Bournemouth clips one in. Flicked on here all the way into the hands of Edison. Easy for City. Pull by Ethan Pinnock with a header. Tried to flick it onto someone. Couldn't find anyone. Edison rolls it out to Laporte. Aymeric Laporte for Manchester City. Cole Palmer. Skips past the challenger Pinnock, who's all over Cole Palmer here. And apparently Pinnock gets the ball. He does the second time after he'd already grabbed Palmer the first few times. Switch of play and Walker calmly down back to Edison. Well played by the captain there, Kyle Walker. Edison for City. Long-term youngsters can't really keep up a good pivot position. It's really important to have a good player in there, even if it's just the backups as Flavius. Yeah, I agree with that one. That's probably why Manchester City didn't keep Romeo Lavia. Foden wins it back for City here. Foden sprints away. Good play by Foden. He's being pulled and pushed all over the place here by a Brentford player in Janol. I think he can get a car for this one. You should trust Charles more. I saw a youth game and his distribution is amazing for someone his age. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think he's probably got good quality, Shea Charles. And I mean, for Pep Guardiola to bring him on today shows he has got trust in him. Janol is pulling the shirt of Phil Foden there. And it's a certain yellow card for the Brentford man. No surprises there. Walker. I mean, Shea Charles is playing at the heart of City's back line there for the moment, alongside Laporte. Very important position to be playing in. This type of game as well. Ultra Games is 4-4 at St Mary's, yeah. Liverpool, what, we're 2-0 up with it. Then it was 4-2 to Southampton. Now it's 4-4. What a game. Gomez. Can't win the header against Burmo. I'd love the idea of Lavia as a Rodri successor as foot flicks. Yeah, maybe in the future. I think, personally, Lavia will join someone else. I wouldn't be surprised to see him join a Chelsea or a Liverpool or Manchester United. I don't think he's coming back to City. Here's Gomez. Shea Charles. At the moment, it's gone quiet in terms of goals around the Premier League. We will keep you updated. I've just said that. I think Arsenal have just taken the lead against Wolves. Well, taken the lead. Made their lead 5. Late tackle on Rico Lewis by Ben Mee. And Arsenal have just made it 5-0. How, you know, fitting that I said, oh, there's a chance. Arsenal look to have made it 5-0. And what a performance by Arsenal it is. 5-0 Arsenal. Great performance by them today. But I mean, what a waste of a performance really, isn't it? No use playing well now when you've thrown away those games against the other teams. I mean, why they lost so many games, I don't know, Arsenal. They really did just stop playing their way, didn't they? And it cost them. City is the best, as Ismund. Quite right. Manchester City are the best. City 0-0 here with Brentford. As City are looking to come away with a point here today, just to keep that undefeated streak going, I suppose. I think that is something that is probably on Manchester City's mind. Would be on my mind also. City to keep that undefeated streak going, if they can. At the moment, just lost the game for a second, so I'll keep you updated when I can. Just lost the game for a second here. Let's hope there's no action. The only action of the game when I'm not there. It's Manchester City. Well, West Ham have pulled a goal back, by the way, against Leicester City. Leicester 2, West Ham 1. As it stands, it won't make a difference. Doesn't it? Will it? Because it all depends. And of course, if Everton drop points or not. At the moment, they're not. Sergio Gomez to take the throw into Manchester City here. But West Ham have pulled one back against Leicester City. What's the record for the defeat streak in the Premier League? I'm not quite sure. Ultra says Bournemouth will need to equalise. If Bournemouth equalise, then Leicester are staying in the Premier League. But they're relying, aren't they? They're relying on another team. And I think that is not what you wanted. Leicester should have, I think, gone for more against Newcastle. I think Leicester really should have gone for more against Newcastle. If they had done that, they would have perhaps stay in the Premier League. But they didn't do. And that may be what's cost them. That's maybe massively what's cost them. We'll have to see. If you know, Bournemouth get a late goal, that'll be a crushing one, won't it? A crushing one for Everton. But we're not quite sure what's happening yet. Fortunately, at the moment, I have lost the game. So City 0-0 with Brentford. But I don't think we're missing anything, to be honest with you. No action. But I have lost the game for the moment. I'll try and get it back whenever. It's difficult when there's so many games on at the moment. So many games on today. Makes it very difficult, I think, to watch it. That many people watching these games at the moment. Manchester City looking to keep unbeaten in the Premier League. And they've done so well, haven't they? I mean, against Chelsea. City did very well against Chelsea. To win 1-0, I think Chelsea are not really a bad side. But City hung on. And they won that game. And it's whether City can hang on here and win this one as well, or just get a draw. I think draw would be a good result for City anyway. We'll have to see, because I've lost the game, unfortunately. So hopefully nothing's happened. Not televised in the UK, which is very, very silly. I suppose you can always televise so many games. You play football to win. You could be invincible and go down. Imagine the Premier League without Leicester and Southampton. It will be unusual, says Footflix. Yeah. Well, I mean, I still would have considered it an achievement. No one's replicated the Invincibles. It's still a massive feat. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think being invincible is as big as they make it out to be, personally. I'd rather win with 100 points than be invincible, I think, but you never know. Manchester City could finish this with an undefeated streak, couldn't they? Going into those two big games, those two massive games against Brentford. Nothing's happened at Brentford as of now, says Chris. Well, that's a good job, because I've lost the game, in fact. So let's hope I can get it back. But rarely this happens, but I think with so many games on today, that is why there's so many games on. That there's so many people watching them, aren't they, all over the world. As of now, it's still 0-0 between Manchester City and Brentford. No other goals elsewhere either. Now, if someone does an invincible plus 100 points, then that's a terrifying team. Yeah, I think if someone did that, you're saying they're the best team ever, aren't you, really? You're saying they're the best team ever to play football. To achieve that. To play in the Premier League, without a doubt. Because who does that? No one's done that, have they? No one has done that at all. So we'll have to see if someone does that in the future. Maybe someone will do that in the future. Because I don't think it's that far off happening. Perhaps at some point. Oh, there's something happened. I think Brentford have scored. I haven't seen it. But Brentford have scored here. Manchester City are behind. Brentford have scored, says Chris. Yeah. Goal for Brentford. City are behind. Brentford with a goal. Doesn't matter. Baptiste on his foot fix. Goal for Brentford. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, I can't describe the action to you. Who is the goal scorer? Sean Pickering says they have, so Brentford have scored. Manchester City are behind. And Brentford take the lead here. Massive goal for them, really. At the end of the season, just to end the season in a good way, I suppose. A good goal for Brentford. City, poor, perhaps. City, not the team they have been. And obviously put out a second team today. Shea Charles coming on, a youngster as well. So Brentford 1, Manchester City 0. I'll put it on the scores here. Brentford take the lead. And City will be frustrated with that. The only defeat streak might end. Brian says the Bees. Yep, the Bees have taken the lead. The Buzzy Bees. Well done. Ethan Pinnock with a goal. I assume after a crossing from Mbermo, it says here. So Mbermo swings the ball in. And Ethan Pinnock puts it in the back of the net. Good goal for Brentford. And Brentford look to finish the season in a good fashion. City fans were chatting Ivan Toney should have cashed out. Apparently. Ironically. So it was a good chance, and Burmo crossed it into the far, headed it down. It was a cross into the far post, and Burmo headed it down. And then Ethan Pinnock on the centre spot hammered it in with his head. Or with his boot. No, with his boot into the bottom corner. Manchester City behind by 1-0. It's a goal from Ethan Pinnock, the midfielder. Or centre-back. I don't think City have been good today. And to be honest with you, Brentford have been good. Brentford have been good. Maybe it's a deserved win for Brentford today. Compared to how City have played. But I mean, Everton staying in the Premier League. It looks like. Still time to go. Have to see. Liverpool still at 4-4, I believe. It's good for Brentford, says Sean. Yeah, very good for Brentford. Exactly, it doesn't matter. The title is secured. Doesn't matter at all. City can accept a defeat here today. As long as they put in those performances later on. Got 2 more games this season to play our best. We've got to do that. We've got to do that. If we can do anyway. So Ethan Pinnock with the winning goal perhaps here. There's still time left. The final game of the season. Arsenal winning 5-0. Villa 2, Brighton 1. Some other goals here. Newcastle 1. Chelsea 1. If Manchester City scored as well, they might have done. Maybe they have. I don't know. Just trolling, says Footflix, yeah. It's annoying, isn't it, when the game goes off, but I'm literally, since it's gone off, I've been non-stop trying to get it back on so I can do the commentary for you guys, and it's just not there. Nowhere seems to have it. Everywhere's just lost the game. Oh, I'm back on it. Max Russell and Goodhurst are coming on for Brentford, so we are back in, and we are going again. And Burmo is being subbed off. Well, the Burmo got the assist here for Brentford. Off he comes. Doesn't Burmo. Godos is coming on. I'm hoping this defeat just meaningless, though, doesn't dent City's momentum. Well, that is the main worry, isn't it? If it dents City's momentum. I don't think it will. A lot of the main players are in there today. So you hope it doesn't. I think the players on the field will be frustrated with themselves. Flavius says, interesting to see how high Rico is playing today at some points. Yeah, he's playing like an attacking midfielder, and City are going to throw bodies forward now, aren't they? Attempt to try and get an equaliser in this game. Perhaps a late one. Here's Sergio Gomez, who I think will not be a City player next season, surely not. Nowhere near the level of a football that we need. Shea Charles. Gomez. Foden. I think Cole Palmer has shown glimpses of the player he could be. Shea Charles and Rico Lewis have been exceptional since foot flicks. Yeah, you know, Charles has been good since he's come on. I haven't seen much. Sean Pickens says Brentford had a good season. Very good season, Brentford. In 9th position. A 9th place finish, I think. Could be even higher, maybe. If things go their way, but I don't think they will. Foden here. On to Rico Lewis. Mahrez. We're going to play a fullback that's attacking. We need someone who can cross. Gomez here. Chance for City. Blocked to the line. Palmer. Back into the box here. Saved on the line again. Oh my word. Cole Palmer's just missed absolute 2 sitters here. Gomez pulls it back across the box. Palmer misses the first one blocked. And again, Gomez back across the box. Sitter for Cole Palmer. And he hits it straight at Ben Mee. Oh my word, how has Palmer not scored yet? Crossing and cleared away. Rico Lewis. Alvarez. To the far post here. Calvin Phillips in there. Falls to Laporte, blocked away, and Brentford slice it away. How has Cole Palmer not scored there? Palmer must be lone, says Footflicks yet. I mean, he should have scored there. That's a terrible miss by Palmer. Mahrez. How has Palmer not scored here? Massive miss. 5 added minutes. Cole Palmer should have given Manchester City the lead. He had 2 or 3 chances and missed them both. Gomez loses out here. He's absolutely shocking. And Goddess comes away. Brentford the chance here. De Silva on the overlap. Walker goes to De Silva. Puts a foot in. And they go back and they'll just keep possession here, Brentford. But how Cole Palmer hasn't scored there, I don't know. He needs to be taught how to finish. It's like Vinicius Jr. in 2019. I think comparing Palmer to Vinicius is harsh on Vinicius, to say the least. I don't think he'd be happy if he heard that. Calvin Phillips goes back to Edison, but City should have scored there. City, without a doubt, should have scored there. Shea Charles. Pressed by Sharda. Charles. Throwing for City. Charles unfazed by the Brentford fans that are aggressive and shouting out on the sidelines. Sharda pressing. Aston Villa has been good to Sean Pickering. Very, very good. Flavie says Vinny was decent then. Palmer's just Southampton quality. I think Palmer actually has a lot of quality. I think there's something about Cole Palmer. My biggest issue with Cole Palmer is his decision making is terrible. He seems to, you know, his football brain seems very slow. And I think that is going to hold him back unless he decides things quicker. I really do. Haaland clear of Vinicius, this Ultra Gamer. I'd say right now, probably, yeah. But Vinicius Jr. I think he's got. I think Vinny might have a higher ceiling than Haaland. As crazy as it sounds. Here's Kyle Walker for City down this right side. 5 added minutes. 2 have been played. Riyad Mahrez, who has been relatively non-existent today. Mahrez. Foden and gives it away. Phil Foden, cheaply. Brentford look like they're going to win this. Hopefully Aaron Hickey and De Bruyne will negotiate a contract somewhere. Aaron Hickey? Maybe. Been linked with City. Sean believes Newcastle could win the league next season with the right investment, Sean. If they're 3rd, 4th this season, then why not? Flavie says, isn't that like a top aspect in play, though? You can be technically average, but if your decision making isn't good enough, you'll still be a good player. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I agree with that, Flavie. I think technically he's quite good, Cole Palmer. He's just so slow to make a decision. Kyle Walker looking for a shot from range here, and Kyle Walker, as he regularly does when he shoots from range, drags it wide and behind for a goal kick. Very poor from Walker, who in the final third has to be one of the worst players in the City team. Really, really poor in the final third is Kyle Walker. And he was poor again there today. I don't know why he even shot there. He knows he's going to drag his shot wide or hit it wildly. You know he's not going to do well. You know he's got to, you know, pass it. But he doesn't do. Doesn't do. Here is Rico Henry. They go back to Brentford. Manchester City currently have Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden and Shea Charles on the pitch. All graduates of City's academy system. Laporte's gone down here. Shea Charles is covering. Comes across and makes the challenge. You think Jude will go to City, says Sean? Like Chris says, Jude's going to Real Madrid for certain. City play this against Inter Milan and Man United. The treble is off, says Footflicks. Yeah, but come on now. I think against Inter Milan and Manchester United, Walker won't be playing. Phillips won't be playing. Charles won't be playing. Laporte won't be playing. Gomez won't be playing. Lewis won't be playing. Phillips won't be playing. Palm won't be playing. Foden won't be playing. Mahrez won't be playing. And neither will Alvarez. So there's your answer. 10 different players on the field for Manchester City against Manchester United. Yeah, quite right. Flavius City playing the second team. Ake will be playing, says Ultra. He will. But he's not on the field right now. Palmer. Phillips. Terrible pass by Phillips, headed away. Ederson's the only player on the field right now that I think will play in the FA Cup final and in the Champions League final. The only player. Shea Charles into Cole Palmer. He's looking to push the ball forward here. Long ball by Kyle Walker. Laporte can't head it. Palmer into Patharico Lewis. Neither Ake or Eddie played today though. Well, Ake and Ederson played today. That is full time. Manchester City lose to Brentford by 1-0. But City still have the Champions League and the FA Cup to play for. Did not play well today. Were poor today. But City won't care. It's all about these final 2 games. And we will be back. Guys, we will be back next time on the weekend. City versus Man United FA Cup final. We'll be doing a commentary here live for you guys to enjoy. Sean Pickering says, what are your views on the England team? Get Southgate out. Stop picking Harry Maguire. City, with 90% of you guys were wrong. 10% were right. City's undefeated streak is gone. Thank you for everyone joining. Thank you, Chris, Ultra Gamer, Flavius, Footflix, Sean, absolutely everyone for being here today. Great to have you with the commentary. City bow out in the Premier League as Premier League champions, not as 1-0 losers to Brentford. And that's not the way we're going to see things. Everton and Bournemouth still playing. Leeds United still as well, and so are Leicester, but it looks like Everton will be staying in the Premier League. We'll see you guys next weekend for Manchester City versus Manchester United FA Cup final. And then I'll be back again for that Champions League final. Thank you everyone for joining. Please do like the video if you haven't already. Please do like the video. And we'll see you guys next time.